My three children, they've all had very similar, the same kind of start in life, very, very similar anyway. But I've kind of become an expert because I've got three examples of like the most remarkable brain development, because they're all so different and it impacts on them so differently. And you wouldn't think that was possible because they kind of had nearly identical early years experience and then have been with me. But it's, you know, personality plays a big part in it all. And my little girl definitely deals with things very, very differently to the boys. Very, very, you can see how everyone knows that a girl matures faster than a boy mentally, and you can see the impact that has even in this situation, even when their brains are altered. And I think, so because of that, I have got an arsenal of techniques and tips and tools that I use, and because it's not just me saying, well, this is my child and this is how I do it and it works for me, because I wouldn't want to listen to that, because I would think, well, no, they're all different. And yes, they are, but I think I've probably got more than average in the three of them in the very, very different ways to deal with things. But the methods that I find the most powerful and the ones that work the best actually work for all of them. And it links back again to lower your expectation and think toddler, because any child who's suffered trauma, so when we talk about trauma, any child who is struggling with their health physically or emotionally, that's causing trauma for them, because trauma is an interruption in the normal order of things. So trauma, one of the best ways to deal with children with trauma is in a very, very nurturing and calm and considered way. And so I have a totally different voice that I use when my children are struggling. And that might be when I'm having a door ripped off its hinges and thrown, or a mattress thrown down the stairs and real ginormous rage. Or that might be when I've got a child who's crying because they can't see the point in being alive, because what is the point in them having a life, and just very quietly crying. And in every situation that I've come across so far, and I have encountered possibly every situation there is to encounter, lowering me voice and kind of putting it up to a little bit higher, and talking how in my mind I imagine I would speak if I was a nursery school teacher to nursery children, and you're trying to engage them and let them know that they're safe, and that most importantly that you are not disappointed with them. And it's not even about the anger. If my children pick up even a look that kind of fleetingly goes across my face, the way they think that I'm disappointed with them, that's massive for them. So your voice, even though you are disappointed and you are sad and you are angry, if you change your voice and force yourself, and sometimes like you might have to like go out, sometimes I have to bite my hand or just turn away for a minute and do this. And then it's acting, it is acting. And then what does people say? Fake it till you make it. So trick yourself into thinking that's how you feel. And I haven't been in a situation where I haven't started to talk like that, and within seconds it's made me feel like that, and so it's made them feel like that, and everything just comes down, just lowers everything. It doesn't change anything, and yes, there's still got to be consequences, and yes, it's all still to deal with, but I know that in the past I have escalated situations massively, and I know that things have happened and that would never have happened if I'd have had that knowledge then of just change your voice. Like, who knew something as simple as that? I was talking to a lady yesterday who does a brilliant thing where when her child starts to shout, the louder and louder and louder he gets shouting, she whispers and her voice goes lower. And I did say that I was going to try it, and I did. I tried it yesterday, and it's a mixture of diffusion and confusion. And my eldest son was very, very unhappy about an Xbox controller, and it was disgraceful that he was having to make it. It was dodgy and it wasn't fair, and it's probably his 5th this year. And so the more he shouted, I started to whisper. And he got really cross at first, but then he had to come close to us to find out what are you saying? What are you saying? You could, and so I was just whispering like this, and then it made me laugh, and then he just burst out laughing. He couldn't. I must have looked so crazy that he could do nothing but laugh. And then when he laughed, and this is my absolute mantra in life: joy and sadness and joy and anger, they cannot exist in the exact same space at the exact same time. It's impossible. So if you can do something that makes you belly laugh, and quite often it'll be inappropriate. I will make inappropriate comments or do something really totally inappropriate and out of context, but it diffuses and it makes people laugh, and just for that split second you've stopped the ramp going up, and it may just get to there and it'll stay there for a few hours, but it hasn't kind of gone off the ledge. And that's so I'm learning new things all the time, but what I have found is the easiest things are always the best. The easiest, most simple solutions, and quite, you don't need to find them in a complicated training course or read loads and loads of books. It's all, go back and think about when they were toddlers and what did you do then, and do it again now. And you have to tweak things, but that's what I have found that consistently has the difference. And sometimes on a morning, school's a big issue, I think, for everyone. And when they don't want to go to school or they don't want to get dressed, sometimes dressing them, where you're a big girl, get dressed. That's what your mind's saying. Like, for goodness sake, get dressed. It'll take you 2 minutes. Took you 2 minutes yesterday. But it's acknowledging the days where they just can't do it. And who says you shouldn't do it? Who says that's wrong? Like the perfect parenting book of it, just, extraordinary children call for extraordinary measures. And what I have found is they just make everything easier, and in turn, everyone happier.